I mean, delicious. Yo, welcome back to Urban Street 420. I'm your host, Fordee. So today we're going to review the Arizer Solo 3 handheld vaporizer. This is very exciting because this is the first Arizer product that I've ever tested or reviewed, and so I was very excited to receive this. And to be honest, it's their flagship model right now, so what a time to be alive. Let's open up the box and get this review going. One thing I'm going to say is this. I'm not going to do like a 30-40 minute review right now. What I'm going to do is break this into different parts. We'll call this our first glance. How to use the device when you first get it, some settings to think about, things I like about the device, and some things I wish maybe they would change in future versions, right? So let's open up the box and get into it. Show you what comes inside and so forth, right? So there's a manual right here. We're going to move it off to the side, and when we open up the box, you're going to see the vaporizer is right here, right? Let's take the vaporizer out. The first thing you should do when you get this device is pull out the center part right here, and in this bottom piece right here is a charging brick and a cable. Go ahead and use the charging brick and cable, plug it into the back of the device, and fully charge your device before using it, right? We're gonna move the vaporizer off to the side and talk about what else this comes with. Again, in the center right here is just the charging brick and the cable, but on the sides, when we pull these side pieces out, there are mouthpieces, right? Let's open this one up in particular because there's more than just mouthpieces in this one. There are screens in this one and a dab or a stirring tool. Now, this is not a dabbing vaporizer. However, this little dab tool right here can be used to agitate herb that's inside of the mouthpiece, right? And inside this little thing, let's go to the other camera, are these tubes. And inside the tubes are the mouthpieces, right? The reality is we open this up, take this little cap right here, and then what we could do is we could put this cap over the part where the herb would go, and then we could drop this into this little PVC tube, close it off, and then we can transport this. And what's cool about this is because this is plastic, we drop this, you don't break the glass mouthpiece. But if you drop this glass mouthpiece, it's possible you're gonna break it. So this is really cool to travel with, etc., right? Now, I just said, or I think I just said that there's a difference between a regular mouthpiece and an XL mouthpiece. Let's go to the other camera. I'm gonna take this mouthpiece out of this tube real quick, and I'm gonna show you that right here, this is the regular mouthpiece, and this on this side is the XL mouthpiece. The only difference between the two is up here at the top, you could see you could fit less herb here than you can fit here. In fact, double the amount, right? In the regular mouthpiece, you could fit 0.2 grams of herb. In the XL mouthpiece, you could fit 0.4 grams of herb. I find myself using the XL mouthpiece, period, right? The smaller mouthpiece, I tend to like a larger bowl than the 0.2 grams, and also I find it's easier to not combust with the bigger bowl, which that sounds strange, but I'm gonna explain why. The way this device works is you open this little part right here, let's go to the other camera, you open this little cover right here, and you put the mouthpiece in. Notice this is where you put the herb. And when you push this down, right, it's sitting flush, it's sitting in the oven. The oven is here, it's quite deep. If herb touches right here, then you could easily combust in this device. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So the first thing you should do, by the way, after you fully charge the device, is do a burn-off cycle. And what that is turning on the device in session mode at the highest temperature setting, which is 428 degrees Fahrenheit, and running it for 5 minutes. Then turning off the device. Repeating that twice, and what you're gonna do when you run this at the highest temperature for 5 minutes in session mode is you're gonna burn off any manufacturing oils, any stuff during packaging or shipping that was dust in there, etc. And it's gonna give you a healthier, a better tasting, a better experience when you use your device. So definitely do the burn off period. I've already done that so we can move forward. Now, when we pack this bowl, let's go to the other camera. We're gonna just go ahead and pick up some ganja like this, put it in, and once it's to the top, right, I'm gonna maybe push down, see if anything falls off, and notice that this is flush or slightly higher than the edge of the glass. We don't want that, because if we put this in here like this herb is going to touch the bottom of the oven, and if that happens, then you're going to combust, right? So what you need to do is you need to take your finger right here, press down, and notice I just spin the bowl, right? As I'm spinning the bowl, I'm creating a little bit of space. What we're trying to do is have like a 1 or 2 millimeter space from where the herb is to the top of this glass is. So that way, when we come over here, we press this into the device and we turn, the herb is not going to touch the bottom of the oven. That's very important, right? Assuming you've already done your burn-off cycle, let's turn the device on. And in order to do so, we're going to hold this button right down in the center here. Let's go to the other camera. Now you have a big LCD right here, and then you have a center button here, and around it you have a directional pad. It's not a jog wheel because you can't spin it, but it has an up, a down, a left, and a right, and then a center button. If we hold the center button down for a few seconds, you'll notice some globes illuminate. When all three illuminate and we let go, it shows the lock screen. To unlock the device, we have to press left, up, right. It's almost like a Konami cheat code back in the days of the Nintendo. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. I mean, it's a bit much, right? I understand the reason for the lock mechanism or whatever is like, let's say, for example, if you have kids, you don't want them to come over and unlock the device and start using it, and maybe that's enough to stop most young children from using it. But I mean, if you're an adult, number one, on the bottom right here, on the metal, let's go to this other camera, you're going to see that it says go left, up, right, whatever to unlock it. So it's not like it's really a secret, and it's not like a passcode, so who is it really keeping out? Super young children? Just don't leave your device out, you know what I mean? So I don't know if the lock, like I understand why maybe you'd want to have it, but I don't care about the lock thing. The only thing that I really don't like about it is you can't turn it off. So for example, I live alone, I'm not trying to lock the device from anybody, and there's no way for me to set it, so I don't have to do that every time I start the device. Also, what it pops up now gives us the option, go to session mode or on-demand mode, which is amazing because you get to use the device however you want to, right? Session mode's gonna work better for some people, on-demand mode's gonna work better for different people, and there's preset temperatures, et cetera, et cetera. Now, personally, at the moment, I'm enjoying session mode more, but obviously it depends on your vaping style and how you're vaping, and et cetera, and so forth. But for me, session mode is the way I like to go, and if I select session mode right now, let's go to the other camera, and I press this center button, it's gonna tell me what temperature it's at, and we are going to drop it down to 360 by pressing the down button. And by pressing it one at a time, it's going to go in single degree increments. If we hold the button down, for example, for a few seconds, it will go in 10-degree increments. Also, if we hold it up, it will go just pressing once at a time, it's going to go up by 1, and then if we hold it down, it can go up in 10-degree increments. It's all amber, right? That means it's the temperature. Keep in mind this device is 80% convection and 20% conduction, meaning this device heats up primarily by airflow. So waiting a few seconds right here is fine, but it's not gonna warm the herb up like a full conduction vape would, so we don't have to wait that long. We wanna do a couple short inhales to get airflow moving because that is what's gonna vaporize the cannabis in a convection device, right? So something like this. I mean, I'm going to tell you this. Also on this device, right now I have it set at 360, right? Again, I'll show you on this camera. 360 degrees Fahrenheit is quite low for most vaporizers as far as the number is concerned. The thing is, I don't think that when you put 360 on this device, it's actually 360 degrees. I feel like the device runs hotter than the displayed temperature. So therefore, this 360 degrees is more like 370 degrees. For example, I'm not sure exactly, but what I can tell you is that 360 degrees, I still have visible vapor. The vapor is freaking tasty. I mean, I have to say, I didn't know what I was going to love about this device, but I can tell you for sure the number one thing I like is the flavor. The next thing that I love about this device is the battery life. This thing is going to last forever. In session mode, which is what we're in right now, this thing is going to go for 3 hours of usage. I mean, that's wild, right? Let's go ahead and take another hit. I mean, this thing hits, huh? Now, in a bowl like this, in the XL tube, we're probably going to get maybe 5 hits, something like that, give or take. Again, depends on how the size of the hit that you're taking. But in one bowl, I can get high in the XL version. In the smaller tube, finishing the bowl doesn't necessarily mean I'll be high, but it definitely hits. It hits nice. It hits hard. Let's take another hit, huh? I mean, delicious. Absolutely delicious. I have to say. I'm going to turn the device off. One thing to note, excuse me, is you'll notice that this display dimmed. It shows the temperature right there, but if we push a button, it will go off from the power saving feature that it was currently on. If we want to turn the device off, all we have to do is hold this middle button down for, I don't know, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and it will say goodbye. And the device is very polite, right? When you turn it on, it says hi. When you turn it off, it says goodbye. So at least I have one friend. No, I'm just kidding. My jokes aren't that good today. Anyway, so let's be honest. This device excels in the flavor of the vapor that it's producing. The quality of the vapor is quite nice. It's a convection device. Are you going to get these massive clouds? You can get decent clouds. You need to dial in exactly the vaping style for this particular device. I think with a couple short inhales, then with a longer inhale, can produce larger vapor clouds. But again, it's a convection device. This thing hits. And when I say it's a hybrid, right? But it's more leans towards convection. This thing hits beautifully. The flavor is amazing. The battery lasts unbelievably, right? Let's talk about some things that I wish were a bit different. Like number one, the lock screen. I would love the ability to turn the lock screen off. I don't want to have to unlock it every time I use the device. That's number one. Number two, if I launch into session mode or on-demand mode, I want, when I turn the device on tomorrow or later or whatever, I want it to be in that mode. Why do I have to select the mode every single time? It seems like a waste. And unfortunately, because you cannot connect this to your phone or something like that or computer, I don't believe that you can update the firmware on this, which means these are probably little easy software changes that could be made, but unfortunately, because you can't update the firmware, I don't think you can't make these changes. So would that stop me from buying this device? Absolutely not, because this device hits. The flavor is ridiculous. And maybe I'm being silly. I mean, it would be cool if there was a hitting odometer, right? So it told me how many times I use session mode, for example. How many times in on-demand mode did I take a puff, for example. I mean, that would be cool to keep track of, maybe, to see what, how much usage I'm using or how much usage is in the device if it was to be sold later at some point. Now, the next critique, I don't know if it's a critique or not, but so for example, this is the tube. Let's take this out. Now for sure, it's not done. When I turn this upside down, I take it out like this because you're trying to make sure all the herb is out. Let's blow in here. Get rid of any herb right here. And there was probably a couple more hits left in here, but let's dump it out so I can show you what it looks like, right? Now you can see, let me show you on the other camera, right? You can see little specks of resins and stuff in here, and ideally, it's very easy. I could just dump this in isopropyl alcohol. It's glass, it's super easy to clean. But to show you, this is the only thing you really need to clean, and maybe once in a while taking a cotton swab or something, going inside here, or blowing in it like that. It's cool that it's got like this little dust cover or dust cap that you can put on. And the reality is, look at this herb, right, that's in here. It looks very evenly vaped. And this herb is just from the Arizer Solo 3. It looks very evenly vaped, but I'm spinning it around because it keeps falling. I don't know if you're able to see it perfectly, right? So this is the other critique. It's cool that this is integrated into the mouthpiece, and there's some design reasons for that. I believe that this gives you a pure tasting experience because this is just glass. It's not going to impart any flavor over time, etc. So I like the design, I like the idea, but that means that if you drop one of these mouthpieces and break them, it's glass. That's it. You can't use the device because it was all part of the mouthpiece, right? So that's number one. Number two, when you're out, I haven't tried to take this device out, and I don't think that this device's main usage is to be used out on the street and so forth, because the reality is to pack this, then check your figure, make sure there's enough space in public. It seems like a bit much, right? It's not that it's impossible. If you had an herb container or something like that, of course you could do it, but this probably won't be your vape for walking down the street and hitting it discreetly or conveniently or efficiently or whatever. I don't think that that's what this vape would normally be used for. But we are going to try it in the next week or so, because I plan to do many other videos on this device, including we're going to do a video on the on-demand mode and using the water pipe adapters, because I think I showed you both of the tubes, right? Both of the mouthpieces, but it comes with 2 water pipe adapters as well. And when I say 2, one of the regular size bowl and one of the XL, so being 0.2 grams or 0.4 grams, right? So in another video, we will hit this in a bong and we will use the water pipe adapter and we will use the on-demand mode. So stay tuned for that. Guys, if you want to save 20% and pick up one of these devices, first off, I have to say this device is amazing, right? If you have like an entry-level vape or something like this, I would definitely consider picking this device up. You can save 20%. I'll have a coupon down in the description. I'm stoned, yo. I want cookies. But I only have infused cookies in the house right now, and I think I've been overdoing it with edibles. Yesterday I had like 4. I woke up stoned this morning. Guys, gals, everybody, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. You know the deal, baby. Till next time, I'm out.